Welcome, everyone, to this live stream, whether you're with us live or tuning in at some other eternal now moment on relationship as a master guide for your life. The interesting thing is, no matter who we are, where we are, what we're doing, we are all in relationship with others and with ourselves all the time. It's a universal property, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, Melinda, hi. Good to see you. Yeah, I know. It's great. I understand. It's a funny thing, isn't it? Signing into the chat. Um, yeah, so welcome everybody and to this amazing topic of relationship, which we all share. It's as common of a denominator in our human experience as breath. And isn't that amazing? Breath is something that we all breathe. We all of our life, from the very beginning, first breath to the very end, breath is a constant that we share. And another constant that we share is being in relationship with one another. That's amazing. And at the core of every single relationship that we have is the relationship with ourself and whatever our awareness of that is. And we're going to unpack that in a totally new way tonight. At least I believe it will be. For some of you, it may have some familiar rings, but I know there will be new elements. And so with that, I would love to ask you, are you willing to see something or become aware in a new way this evening or whenever you're listening to something that you haven't noticed before, that you've never thought about it that way? Are you willing to be shown something that you haven't yet seen? And I would invite you to go ahead and answer that question. Are you willing to see something that you haven't yet seen? Okay, great. Take a nice breath with that. That was beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah. That opens up a whole playing field of possibilities that otherwise ends up being kind of closed. We're willing to see something we haven't yet noticed. And are we willing to let something show itself to us completely differently than all the ways that we've ever experienced it before? Beautiful. Yeah, that's awesome, you guys. So if that is true for you, I invite you to say yes. I'm willing to let this show itself to me in a way that I've never even imagined before. I mean, what have we got to lose? All of the ways, I love that. Yes, Melissa. Or excuse me, Melinda. And I love the ways that when we are willing to have it be something completely different, we're not left with just what we already know. We actually already know what we know, don't we? We're familiar with that. And what we're interested in now, and the reason we're gathering, one of the reasons we're gathering together is because there's something new for us. And we get to experience that and share that together. Beautiful. So we're willing to see something we haven't seen, and we're willing to actually have it show up in a way that we've never imagined before. Beautiful. And please know, if you are tuned in live on the video stream, there's a little bit of a delay. So you may put something into the chat or make a comment, and it'll actually show up a little bit after what I've said, because I'm moving ahead in a real time that's slightly different than yours. Okay, beautiful. Next question, just kind of getting our energy open and in the flow of what we are really interested in sharing together tonight. Would you be willing to let go of any limiting belief or idea that keeps you from experiencing the freedom and the joy that you are? Yeah? Okay, great. Let's take a breath on that too. I'm willing to release any limiting ideas or beliefs that keep me from experiencing the joy and the freedom that I am. Beautiful. Okay. Woo! Nice. Big yes. All right, that's awesome. All right. So it's really interesting, isn't it? Actually, before I go on, I'm just going to breathe that energy a little more. There's still more moving. And we're coming into this beautiful, what I would call an energetic posture of, I wonder. I wonder what I'll see that I haven't yet seen. I wonder what might guide me in a new way, in a way that it never has before. I wonder what it is that feels like the problem in my life or the challenge. I wonder how that might actually turn into the possibility and the freedom. I wonder how that's possible. I wonder how that might happen in our time together. Keep breathing. And know that my voice and the vibrations in the voice and in the conversation that you and I, all of us, are having at the energetic level is opening this energy up as we talk. It's preparing a way for us that we're very interested in. We've already chosen it. We've already chosen it before, what we perceive as this now moment. And we're actually stepping into a choice that we've already made. It's that easy. Beautiful. And we just allow this opening and this wondering and this, sometimes it's called I don't know mind. I don't know, but I'm expecting and I'm ready and open for amazing things. I don't know, but I'm ready and open for amazing things. Beautiful. And welcome to those of you who are just joining us now. So glad you're here. Let's breathe again together. All right. So there's this beautiful aspect of you, all of us, that's showing itself to me right now as I sit in presence with you and as you sit in presence with me. And maybe I can describe it this way. Some of you have heard me ask this question before. Are you a finite or an infinite being? We come back with this answer, yes, infinite, yes. And infinite, actually, does it contain everything or only some things? Everything. Okay. So we're going to be opening up, as we're opening up this energy into, wow, I am so vast. This awareness that enlivens this body, this form, is so vast, is infinite, is eternal, is wise beyond measure, is already fully awake, is peaceful, is joyful, is complete, is whole. All of these words and these energies, this is what we are. And we're opening now our awareness into this truth. To me, sometimes it's a little bit like having a door at the top of my head that's just, I'm like, oh, little attic door, I'm just going to open that right up. And there's a world of light and beauty and information and support that just streams in like a golden waterfall through the top of the head. This is you. And that feeling that already begins like, wow, that feels really good. That's you. That's you that you're feeling. And then we ground our feet down into the center of the earth. Or perhaps you just simply put your attention on the soles of your feet. And for some of you, you may be dropping into what you feel is that beautiful, grounded knowing of you. I love that. Melinda just said the knowing. Yeah. The knowing of what we are. We are grounding and opening into the awareness of the knowing of what we are. For many of this is a regular practice. And for some of us, it might be rather new. The thing is, even if it feels new, you know it already. It's what you are. The totality, the completeness, the wholeness, the presence in awareness of what we are. Let's breathe that together. And for those of us who have this sort of, like, yeah, I get that. Man, that's just the place I live and I love it and I know it. And yes, yes, yes. Let's invite others to see it in themselves as well. We do that together because in this joining of this circle, we have each other's back. We're here for one another as the one that we are. Different mouths of the same presence of all that is. Different eyes looking at each other. Different hearts beholding one another. Yeah. And the same heart beholding itself. The same heart beholding itself. Ooh, nice. Open up right through the heart chakra, the center of the chest. Breathing as this one heart beholds itself in each other. Beautiful. Don't you feel good? Wow, that feels so good. And with that, let's invite anything of the day that's ready to move on and move through, or whenever you're listening to this, whether it's first thing in the morning or late at night or in the middle of the day, anything that's like, oh, I'm ready to just sort of set this load down. Man, I didn't even know I was carrying it. But now that I'm breathing and tuning into this presence, I'm slowing my mind to the rate of my infinite knowing. And that allows everything that doesn't need our time and attention to simply slough away. Let's set it down. Whew, there we go. Setting it down. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Good. All right. Feels good. Okay. Now, I'd like to do a little exercise in contrast. So, we were just tuning into this infinite, total, complete, luscious presence that we are, and the awareness of that can actually have a 360 multidimensional view in any direction. And I'll just keep breathing that with you in my heart, which, wow, is super hot right now. Whew. And I'd like for you now to bring up a relationship. The first one that pops in your head. It could be relationship with drivers on the road. It could be a coworker, family member, a partner, child, parent, friend. Boom, relationship. Bing, pops in. Okay, good, you got it. Now I'd like you, that's like a little scramble of all this information that just came in. Good job, we got it. I want you to notice the difference between that you just brought into your awareness and this, the experience of the awareness we were having just a few moments before. Okay, and they're both amazing. They're both incredibly strong energies, full of all kinds of information, and pretty different, yeah? Okay. And again, if you have any comments, questions, feel free to chime in on the phone line or on the chat. I always love it when you do that, to be with where you are. Okay, so one of the ways that I perceive that is when we tune in, we drop into the presence and the awareness that we are, the observer, the infinite observer of everything in our life. That is the space of wholeness, what I sometimes call the God space. It feels and experiences through our body, through our mind, through our emotional field. So good. It's that, some traditions call it the peace that passes all understanding. Others might call it the mind of Buddha. It's a compassionate, open, spacious place of awareness. Notice that when we moved into relationship, we brought somebody into mind or into awareness, that moved from wholeness into something partial. And when I say partial, it's because it's like a specific part or stream or area of this wholeness that we are. Got that? Okay, yeah. Whole, the whole, which is actually the awareness which can see and be all things, and this partial part, which is our connection with another person or group of people. And even whether that came in as something charged really beautifully positively or something that felt like a negative charge, you can still see it's kind of it's a division of sorts into something partial. Feel that in your body for a minute. Feel, oh, when I brought that into my mind, awareness, however you want to look at my heart, different ways, feel the way that felt in the body. Okay, got it? Yeah. And notice where in your body you got that information. Like, was it right in your brain? Did your brain start going? Was it in your solar plexus right here in the center of you? Was it something a little lower? Perhaps the heart. For some of us, it was the throat. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, okay. And all of that information that came in is one of the things. Let's all take a deep breath together, because this, yeah, all that stuff that for bunches of you came in feels kind of heavy. Let's breathe and let that continue to just sift through. Just continue to sift through. Continue to sift through. And let that radiance of the heart light of your awareness continue to touch it. Okay? There you go. And meaning that's beginning. There's more for that. We're going to stay in what may feel like dual awareness now. This awareness of everything, this presence that we are, and the awareness of what we're looking at, which in this case was relationship, the first one that came to our mind. Good. Okay, let's breathe again. There's no way to get it wrong. There's no There's no way, the only way is the way that you are. The way that you are is perfect. Just wanted to bring a little bit of that in because for some of us, there was so much information there. It was like there was so much heart heaviness that came in when we brought relationship into our awareness. It simply wanted to be noticed. And that's one of the first things that we do when we tune into this incredible, profound, loving presence that we actually all are. I get it. Sometimes we can't find it and it doesn't feel like that, but it's actually what we are. When we tune into that and we turn the gaze of that onto some aspect of our life, we're aware of what is there for us. And for some of us, it's heaviness and pain there. So we be present with that, meaning we notice. No judgment, no agenda, we notice. So let's do that together now. You brought relationship into your awareness, and let's notice it. And breathe together. There's nothing we need to do with it. There's nothing we need to solve. Because we're not going to solve it at the level that this energy was created. I won't even call it a problem. We're going to be with it from a new level, which is what transforms it. This is the miracle of working in consciousness through awareness as the infinite being that we are. It transforms everything that we turn our gaze to. And when we don't know that we have that option, we don't really have it, do we? But now we know. And I'm going to say, I'll sort of summarize what that option is. We have the option to be with anything in our lives. Relationship, health issues, money issues, our own thoughts in our head, the patterns that come up in us over and over again. We have the option to be with these, with the power of the presence of our full awareness, and it transforms our lives. Whew. All right, and welcome everybody on the phone line as well. So glad you're here.
Bhakti.
What's that?
This is Bhakti.
Hi, Makti. So glad you're here. Welcome. Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So that was a bunch of heat, guys. As we turned in presence to that we were being aware of. Whew. So I invite you to just say, hey, all my systems are open, open, open. The channels in my mind are open, open, open. The channels in my heart are open, open, open. The channels in my spine are open, open, open. And the light of my awareness is open, open, open. Woo! All right. Okay. Now, one of the ways that relationship gets our attention is that it pings on things that trigger us or things that challenge us, right? And again, this happens in all kinds of ways. It happens with strangers. It happens with people that we know well. It happens with people that aren't even alive anymore. Wow, right? Relationship is obviously not limited by the time-space continuum. Relationship often, feel this one, actually happens in thought. How much of the time is your experience of a relationship in your life actually what you're thinking about that person or those people? Whoo! Let's just take a look at this. This is awesome. That just came in, which means you guys were showing me this one. Oh, I love that. Alana, the light of my awareness is my magic wand. Yeah, baby. I know. I love to say awareness is our superpower. Oh my God. And I love that, Melinda. I am that which is open. All that I am is open. Woo! Yes. Rocking it on that one, you guys. Okay. So feel into relationship and even what you brought into your awareness. How much of the relationship, I'm going to let you give this a percentage number. How much of that relationship is actually in your own mind? Is what you think about that person, the emotions that are generated when you think about that person, the ways that you maybe formulate conversations or make action plans about that person or that relationship. Isn't that fascinating? How much of the relationship actually happens in your own mind, and what percentage would you say of the relationship is actually happening right here? 50? More than 50? Less than 50? Whew, right? Isn't that fascinating? Okay, so one of the things that is pointing to, and this is not rocket science, but it's just brilliant in consciousness, is, okay, the relationship I'm having with that person is actually inside of me. And the thing is, that's actually the truth of it. Even the parts that don't feel like they're just in the thoughts of our own heads, that we feel like, oh, I'm having that conversation. This is in fact what they said or did, or here's what's happening. That relationship, what if? And again, this is back to that question that we began with. I love feeling you guys here, by the way. I just have to say that again. You are such rock stars. That relationship is generated by everything that is within us. All relationships are generated by what is within us. This is why and how they serve as the master guide in our lives, because they are showing us some aspect of relationship with ourselves, which includes the things that we believe, our beliefs, and our perceptions, which often show up, in fact, as our limitations and what we perceive as blocks. Let's see, if I believe, and I put some of these out into some of the information that went out before this live stream. So, for instance, maybe we feel like we need to keep people happy or not rock the boat in order for things to work out for us. Or maybe we believe that if we speak our truth really plainly, if I really lay it out there with the coworker, with the boss, with the partner, with the person in the store who just offended me, whoever it is, if I really lay it out there, maybe that's not going to work out. Okay, so take a nice deep breath with that one. And we're going to go with that one for a minute. Not speaking our truth. That one's lighting up pretty big. Not, in other words, not being true to ourselves. Not being true to ourselves. I'd like to differentiate between being true to ourselves and saying every thought that comes in through our head. Maybe most of the thoughts that come through our heads aren't even ours. There's all kinds of stuff that comes through our heads that may not be the truth of what we know and our being. Yeah, okay, thanks KJ. 80%, right? 80%, I love that, of the relationship is actually happening in your head. And again, if some of you just tuned in, there is this little bit of delay, so I will be moving on and speaking about other things sometimes before I acknowledge your chat comments. So that's fine. We get to play with wobbly timeline. Linear time that is not set and fixed. I love that. So, gotta go see where I was before I looked at that. Yes, right. Thank you. Throwing yourself under the bus. Taking care of others before taking care of myself. Absolutely. That's a good one. Thank you for that, Melinda. Right. So this is that thing also of if I speak my truth, it's not going to work out for me. Okay. And I'm going to sit and breathe with you all for a moment, and we're going to look at this energy and also that, taking care of others before taking care of myself. That's a big one, isn't it? I'm going to lay it on the line with that one right there. And this is actually the same with the speaking the truth. Okay, so we were noticing when we began and we tuned into the wholeness of the awareness that we are, there's a spacious completeness to it. We moved into relationship and awareness on a particular relationship, and it felt like it was part of this whole. So if I need to take care of somebody else before I take care of myself, if that ends up taking precedence and I tend others and I deplete my own sort of energy stores and I don't tend to my needs, I don't consider them the same way. Do you notice how we, all of us, when we do that, have placed ourselves firmly into separation? When I say separation, it's that partial thing again, instead of the wholeness of the awareness and the oneness that we all are. The truth of there's this one thing happening here, and we're all it. And there are these individuated expressions of it, which is where the differences and the perceptions of the differences come in. This is the key to living, one of the keys to living in awakened consciousness, and particularly in relationship. It's the beauty of it. We get to be in the individuated streams and perceptions while knowing we're actually all this together. It's a little bit like a branch on one side of the tree turning and looking at the branch on the other side of the tree and going, God, what's that branch doing? And they're kind of like, da, 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 and it's like a totally different organism, and not even knowing there's only one tree. Okay? And we get that. Most of us get that conceptually. This is probably not a new idea. For some of us it may be. For many of us it's like, yeah, I get that. Oneness, unity consciousness, the Christ. Oh, for crying out loud, but this person's driving me freaking bananas. Right? This is where the rubber meets the road. Or I'm driving me bananas because I can't seem to take care of myself when I tend to everybody else. Do you see what an amazing pointer that is to waking up to the truth of what we are? So, when we're perceiving from that level of relating, we are firmly in separation consciousness, and it's going to hurt there at some level because it wants to get our attention to point us back to the truth of what we are, which is actually the truth of what everybody is. And there's no way we can mess that up. We are it, whether or not we get it. I want to bring this home again and allow it, your cells, to hear it. You are the perfection of creation, and so is everybody else, whether we know it or not. The difference is when we wake up to that, which means we wake up to the space of whole awareness out of this experience of partial, everything gets so much easier. The same stuff is happening. Our relationship with it lifts and soars and breathes and sings. It is our identification with the partial. This is me, this is you, and one of us is probably right or wrong. There's a better way or a worse way. Another way to talk about this would be duality consciousness. Painful. Until it isn't, because it gets our attention and we go, the only thing happening here is God space interacting with itself, and we all have choice. And from this place of wholeness, what do I choose? What do I choose? Take a breath, because then we notice what is making our choices for us. If we are not in that space of conscious awareness, something else is making the choice for us. Those are some of those things that I call the hooks of consciousness. And some of them are, we feel that we need to keep other people happy in order for our lives to work out. Another one is, people need our help. They need us to save them from their choices, from their circumstances, from their lives. Ouch. We feel that we need to keep somebody, I think I mentioned this one, happy in order, the need for approval. We talked about that. The one I mentioned before, if I actually speak my truth, somebody will be displeased with me. I feel that something happens to me instead of I'm actually the creator of this reality and this world that I'm in, this magical space of consciousness and love and creation. Instead, I am a victim. Notice how all of these things are rooted in a perception and an experience, actually, of pain. Okay, here comes another big piece. Ready? And I want to give you as much as I can here in our time together tonight. And I know it's a lot, so keep breathing. Know that if your mind isn't getting it, doesn't matter. You're getting all the energy of it. Literally, your physical cells are hearing it, and you can always come back and listen to the replay. Okay. So what was that last one I just said? It was about being victimized. I gotta find that other piece. I just lost it. Maybe it'll come back. I'll take a deep breath because it was the next big piece coming in. I know I've looked at it before with you guys tonight and it just slipped out of view. So we'll just breathe for a minute. Apparently we're going in another direction, which is great. I got it. Okay. So we were looking at pain points. For most of us, depending on your age, but by the time you're 25, probably by the time you're 18, maybe 25 fully, anything that triggers you is actually not new. Anything that lights up for you in a pattern is not new. Anything that you get motivated by in order to accommodate to what I would call energy brokering. Okay, I got to do this so it works out for me, so that I avoid this person being unhappy, so I avoid this pain in my life. These pain-based avoidances, none of that's new. Even the thing that gets us really upset, it's almost never a new energy. Feel that for a minute, because as I just talk about that, you can feel it. Think about the energies that when we looked at that first partial part of relationship and it brought it all up and it was like, whoa, that's super live and heavy. None of it was new, was it? Okay. Yeah. So when was it new? And even maybe a better question is, when were we new? When were we new? When were we new and non-imprinted with these patterns that we now experience as our limitations and our blocks in relationship with ourselves, with others, and the world? When were we new? Feel it? Just like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, mind. When was I new? For bunches of us, it might be when we were a baby and we're born, when we were first born. For some of us, that wasn't even it. For some of us, it's you got to go back so many lifetimes to find new, you can't even find it anymore. When were we new? And maybe another word for new is also pristine. When was I not bound by these particular patterns, these particular ways of relating? When was it that I didn't think I needed to keep other people happy? When was it that I didn't get triggered into anger? When was that? When was it that I actually just felt like the world was a safe place? When was that? When was I new? When were these patterns not in place? When had I not identified fully with something partial? This is my personality. This is the way people perceive me. This is the way everybody relates to me. You see what I'm getting at? Okay, good. When were you new? I love it. Now and in the moment. New. Yeah. Feeling into when I was new is so moving, isn't it? It's so pristine and so stunningly beautiful. Thank you for your sharing. You guys, I love that. Oh, it is. It's like, when was this not here? And can we find it? When was I new? When was I so clean, clear, pristine, so light, so, yes, sparkly, delightful, and lovely, Lana. That's so beautiful. Like, whoa. When was that? And the when isn't really even the answer, right? Just seeing it and tapping in and tuning in. Oh my God, you guys, this is so good. Like, ooh, whole body shivers all the way through. When was I new? When was I brand new? When was none of this stuff running in me? When was it never would have occurred to me that I needed to help save somebody from the pain in their life. When was it that I knew that everybody spoke truth? We all just said what we say. And everybody goes, huh. And no judgment or agreement or disagreement, just simple presence. When was that? Keep breathing. Wow, that feels so good. You feel good. Okay. I gotta say this now, as you're in this energy, of this newness energy, that is the core of all relationship. That you're looking at, that's you. This is the core that we're going to nurture and create from in all relationship. Brand new. When was I new? When were none of these patterns in play? What if I were to speak from that space? What if I were to talk from there? What if I were to choose from there? What if I were to live from the truth of what I am? Instead of these identifications, which I would also call the limitations, the perceived blocks, the patterns, the pain, that has kind of layered itself over like so many blankets I can't really see the sky anymore. What if I were to choose from this place of pristine newness? What would my relationship with me? And notice, it's hard to find me, because like that even implies separation, doesn't it? Holy wow. Like what's the self I'm in relationship with? Everything simply is. What if in this awareness I just choose from here? Yeah, powerful and passionate. And there's another wow. I know, I'm loving it, you guys too. I'm loving it. I've never done this before. We're all creating it together. It's the beauty of doing these things. What if I were to live creating from this space of this pristine newness that I am? What would that be like? When I speak to my beloved, what would my words be? When I encounter the stranger, which there aren't any, where would my heart be? What would it feel like to radiate and breathe my heart with theirs? And notice that when we are in this place, when we are in this awareness and we're tapped into the truth of what we are in this way, it's actually okay whatever we encounter. Can you feel that? Because I mean, as I said this piece about radiating with a stranger, and some of us were like, well, wait, what if they're like an asshole? Or what if they're this or that doesn't go well? You know what? It's actually not dependent on them. Because we are in the space of the pristine awareness that we are. Wow, right? Wow! Oh, that feels so, so good. What would I say from this place? This one's going to be a tricky one, or let's just say it'll give us a bunch of information to be with. What would I say to that family member with whom I have that history that's so thick and so not anything I ever want to have? If I'm in this space, yeah, how can we stay in this space? You know, that's what we're here to do, KJ. That is what we are here to do. That's what we're here to learn and to practice and to be what we really are. That's why we're doing this together. This is the only reason, as far as I can see, that we're here. To wake up to what we are, because when we wake up, the whole world wakes up and everything moves into peace and alignment and love. It's simply living in the misperceptions of what we are that creates the suffering. So how do we stay in this space? The first step is we do what we're doing now. We notice it and we breathe it and we say yes to it. And we say, okay, yes, this, I will have more of this awareness of what I am, pristine and new. And now bring to mind that family member with whom you have that history that you really just don't even want. And is it possible, and this is a biggie, I'm kind of diving right in. Yeah, I'm diving right into what if I bring this energy of awareness? What if I be this? What if I radiate, stay with it guys, so strong, so huge, so bright? What if I radiate the truth of what I am through every fiber of my being? It's unmistakable. It's the only thing happening. It's the only thing happening. I am staying with that. I am staying with this awareness. I am living this. I am breathing this. I am this awareness of this pristine, open, clear, new space. And now we encounter the thing that has in the past, which doesn't exist, given it because everything's new, there's been constriction. And can you simply behold it from the truth of what you are? Let's breathe that together. Yeah. And notice if it brings up another feeling, if it brings up the pain of what that thing has been, if it brings up the fear around it, if it brings up the no, can we greet that in this space that we are? Because we are powerful in the light that we be, in the truth of what we are. And anything that comes up that doesn't feel like that gets to be welcomed, because there's so much space here, and there's so much light, and there's so much power. Which leads me to offer you a couple of options when we are looking at relationships in our lives, based on what comes up. Sometimes it's simple enough to turn and say, you know, actually I don't need to look at that. I can just really give all of my attention to the presence that I am. It's the only thing I need to do right now. I choose that. That's a really great option. And you may have your own ways of doing that. You that's actually pretty good. You turn into your breath, and you just become this in and this outflow, this expansion and contraction, this gentle movement. You may feel the beat of your own heart. I like to slow my breathing intentionally. 7 seconds in, pause, 7 seconds out. We stay with the presence of us. And there may be another thing that comes up in a second option that we really want to be with. It may be that there's some pain or some, what I would call content, that actually really wants your full attention. It's asking for you to look lovingly at it from this space that we're talking about. This space of awareness, this space of presence, this huge, powerful presence that you are. Oh my God, think about it. Anytime you walk into a room, people feel you. You radiate what you are. We are all powerfully present. You feel other people when you see them, when you look at them. We are all powerful presences. So we choose to allow this powerful presence that we are to gaze on the part of our life that is in pain and is asking for our attention. And that's what we do. We be present with it. We say, I'll see you. That pain that's so deep that it feels like if we look at it, I won't make it through. I'll see you. I won't do anything with you. I won't tell you to go away. I'm just going to sit here and radiate what I am. So powerful you are. Your presence heals everything. Everything. To the point where they are no thing. Nothing. Those things become no thing. All right, I'm going to give you an example that's just a little off to the sideline of kind of the way I've been talking. So I've had a big week, moved. I'm changed locations. Some of you may recognize a different, similar but different, background. Stressful. Moving generally is a huge upheaval. It brings out this little bit of edginess in me that's a little sharp, maybe bitchy. It's not really like my go-to thing, but it's been there. And I remember a beautiful shamanic healer, high priest that I work with in Bali. The very first time I met him, he saw that in me energetically and mentioned, he said, you get this impatience. He said, yeah, that's not for you to align with. It really wasn't until this week, being in an environment of really supportive relationship, that I actually got to see what was underneath this. And I'm giving this as an example because this was one of the places that my life was asking for my loving attention. Instead of, I'm just going to turn everything that I am to my awareness, which actually is a way that I go lots of the time. That's actually all that I need to do. Remember what I am. Remember what I am. And until we haven't, like maybe tonight or when you're listening to the replay, it may be one of your first sort of encounters with this hugeness of what you are. For some of you, you're like, God, I love it every time I return to this full awareness. Or for some of you, I live here all the time, right? We're all in different places of sort of consistency of awareness of the fullness of our being and what we are. This was one where I could sort of let that fall out of view. But what it was asking for, and I didn't know why, was just my loving attention. Oh, I'm going to really soften into this sharp edginess that I have right here. This thing that wants to come out in a little bit of like impatience and anger. And it was subtle. I mean, I didn't blow up at anybody. It was just this subtle thing, but it was there. And it felt hard-edged. You know what I mean? And so I softened. And immediately there were these soft little tears that wanted to come up underneath it. Because underneath it, I was protecting something. I don't even need to know what. We don't need to know stuff. All we need to do is be present and let things move. And so in that moment, I got to realize, oh, this is actually asking for my full loving presence. And it started dissolving and melting. Some things that ask for our full loving presence are actually asking for more than that. They may want what I call a deep dive into the root of where that pattern came from. We can do that. And you may need a guide. I mean, that's one of the things, obviously, that I do with people one-on-one. That is a tremendously loving choice. When the thing that's that pattern or that hook keeps coming up over and over and over again, it may need deeper attention. That is actually also what, of course, we'll be doing coming up in the next 3 weeks for a relationship class together, is having time to dive deeper into what some of those hooks are. Tonight, we've been looking at this amazing way of options of tuning into the new pristineness of us and being present with things in our lives, noticing the wholeness of our awareness and what feels like the partial part that we enter into an identification in patterns in relationship. And there are specific ways that that plays out. And when we give them a little more focused and tended attention, they unhook even deeper. That's what the class will be about, so that we can spend time on each live stream going deeper together, so that we don't have to go through it again and again. You know, one of the teachers I worked with years ago said, I want to fall hard and I want to fail hard, whatever it is. He's talking about life, consciousness, the whole thing, because I don't want to have to come back and do this for 72 more lifetimes. I'm actually interested in this being the one where this pattern is complete. I have to say, I've really come to this place with my life and those that I work with. Why do it over and over and over again? Let's get her done, right? And we're perfect and whole and complete as we are, but as our awareness catches up to what we are, that to me is the awakening. That is the awakening experience. Being in body as form, God as form, and being totally connected to and aware of the infinity of our formlessness and all that we are. It's time to get it done, right? That's what we're doing together. This is what I'm passionate about. And I'm so glad that I can unpack some of these tools. If all you're going to do is tune into this live stream, take everything you can get from it. It's here for you. And if you want to go deeper, there's more, because we know what these hooks are. You know, we know one of them, that thing about, I just never feel good enough. Whatever I do, it's not enough. There's this pervasive sense of unworthiness. That is one of those, what I would call the lies that we believe, which is one of the hooks in our awakening that gets to turn itself around when we bring this kind of consciousness to it and be the master guide for our lives to actually get us out of the pattern. Whatever the pattern is, and I would love for you right now, each of you listening live or on the replay, tune into for just a minute, what is the thing, if you feel like in the way that you relate to other people, whether it's family. My cat really wants to join us. I'm going to let her in. Arabelle, you better just come in here, you little white kitten. Whether it's with family members, with a significant other, children, parents, co-workers, whatever it is, what feels like the thing that I just always bump up against? What's the thing? It just keeps getting me. And is it that sense of being wrong somehow? The unworthiness? Is it fear that if people really see you, they won't love you? Is it that sense of I'm never seen, actually. Nobody really gets what I am. Yeah. Okay. That information that you're just looking at right now, that is the guide to your freedom. That I guarantee it. It's like, Okay, so here's the coin, and on this top side of the coin is what feels like, here she is your problem, or is the challenge, or is the limitation, or the stuckness. It's the same coin that when we turn it over and look at it in a new way, provides all the information for the freedom. That's the way consciousness works. That's why nothing's a problem. It's only a possibility. And again, the thing is, if we don't know that it's actually our possibility and it can be the guide to set us free, we don't have that option, do we? That's why I love to unpack it in this way, so that we all can have an expanded awareness that offers us opportunities and choices that we did not have before, because in that is power and freedom. Yes! Okay. Yeah, but you can tell I'm not excited about it at all, right? Okay. And then for those of you that bump up against the, but my life keeps showing it to me that if I do speak my truth, it doesn't work out. Or if I don't keep people happy, it doesn't go well for me. Or it really isn't safe to be here. Or people really don't see me and get me and know who I am. All those things, you're like, but that's what keeps showing itself to me, that it's true. Remember, reality, your experience, does not prove what you believe to be true. It reflects to you what you believe. Big difference. And getting this one is a huge key to freedom. It's not proving what you believe to be true. That it's true that things never work out for me. That it's true, now you're going out, all right then. That it's true that if I speak my mind, it doesn't work out. Even that one, I wanted to say a little more about that one. When we get into that, we're essentially limiting ourselves and denying our own relationship with ourselves in that. Okay, this is really funny. The cat just wants to go in and out the door the whole time. So I'll just leave it open. So that one right there, it will essentially have to play out as not working out because you're not working out with yourself. We are not being in alignment and in honoring of ourselves when we say, no, I can't actually say what I think or feel. That will be what reflects to us, the thing that doesn't work, the thing that's not true, the thing that's not in support of who we are. It reflects back to us this relationship inside. Yeah, that's interesting. That just really wanted to be said for somebody. So that may be for you. And here's a question from Tony. Will I sell it as a package later? Things almost always end up eventually on my website as a product that you can buy. And also know that this particular class, and particularly for those of you, I know it's so many things going on. I loved this, that some of my favorite colleagues in consciousness, Rika Zimmerman and Zach Rader and Paul Selig, and there was another one, all launched huge programs this week. It's awesome. It's just like, what's going on in the ether that we all know now's the time. There are always replays available. So if you sign up now, you have them and you'll have them forever and you can listen whenever you want to. And then that way also, if you're able at some point to make a live class, then you get to just join in, which is also really great because then you get the questions answered. I want to let you know that part of this is that you get a one-on-one. It's a little one. It's 15 minutes. I did this with the last class I taught. Stunning. I mean, all the stuff that got unpacked, opened up, and seen in those little 15-minute one-on-one sessions. And it would be the energetics of relationship for you to really find what is that big hook, that thing I was just talking about. What's the thing that you keep coming around to? And of course, we will look at that in the class together, and we will be focusing more specifically on those things. And I'd love to hear from you what those are so we can let you create that class together. And you get that time one-on-one with me so we can just go zing, and we just have this, it's amazing, laser focus to give you a ton of support and information in 15 minutes. And then there will be sound alchemies that come along. And I haven't done that tonight. It's interesting. I kind of thought I might not. And that's a beautiful way to open up the energies and to make everything easier, to circumvent the mind and just let vibration meet vibration. Sound alchemy is work that I do regularly in all of my classes and with all my clients, and sound baths and all kinds of stuff. These beautiful crystalline bowls help, and bunches of them on the shelves back there, as well as the crystal bowl of my voice that joins in. So you'll get all of that. And the package has an early bird price, and that's also one of the beauties of it. It's $77 if you do by this coming Friday. So you have 5 days, particularly those of you who are going to be listening to the replay. And after that, it goes up to $97. But you get all that stuff in the 3 weeks and the one-on-one and all the sound alchemies, and it's going to be so awesome. It's really one of my passions to take these things that are our challenges and look at them in the ways that literally allow them to serve us as assistance instead of limitation. Yeah, and I think it was Melinda said something about letting go of the resistance. Nothing is going to change my world. John Lennon and Paul McCartney. Oh, that's awesome. That world of the space that we are, right? Yeah, I love it. Oh, and I think this came up in a different live stream I did. That beautiful song by the Avett Brothers, or Avett, or however you say it. There ain't no man can save me. There ain't no man can enslave me. There ain't no man can change the state my soul is in. There ain't nobody here who can cause me pain or raise my fear, 'cause I got only love to share. If you're looking for truth and proof, you'll find it there. That's us, guys. That being that we are, that awareness, nothing does change that. Nothing shakes it. No fear touches it. Instead, what that is turns and touches all of our fears and all the things that we do feel like shake us at this level of the human, the being human, this incredibly amazing creation of light and consciousness that we are in form. We turn all that we are to allow that to change the perception and experience of our life, and it does. The whole thing changes. I want to give you one last example about relationship and the inside job that it is and how it transforms. And this one was with one of my family members. And this, my dad would treat all of us really differently, or all of us basically the same, until I went through a complete transformation on the inside in my relationship with him. And that was all, like, remember when I said there's that part sometimes that's asking for our undivided attention, our loving presence? Yeah, there was a lot of that I got to do. And it was just completely different. And I'd have these beautiful conversations with him suddenly. He'd be like, you know, I just don't even think of you as my daughter anymore. You're just this trusted peer on the journey with me. And da-da-da-da-da. I would just watch it, just be like a completely different person. And then I'm out having an extended family gathering, and he's with all my other siblings. And he's this old way with other siblings of my siblings, and a completely different way with me, all in the same room, all within a few breaths. And I'm like, dude, you're a magician that you can be that different. He was meeting us very clearly to reflect that internal relationship that we had with ourselves. He was being that mirror. We know about the mirror factor. And the mirror factor around us is in play until it isn't. And it does stop. Eventually, it's not just that the world is mirroring our relationship with ourselves. It's that we're just in pure awareness of all of it. But as long as we're engaged with it, triggered by it, and still enlivened in these different ways with the pieces that challenge us, that's the mirror factor, and that is a master guide for us. And those relationships out there all change, because there's actually no thing out there. There's no thing out there. It's all here as we align and continually return to the truth of what we are. Yeah. Okay. So any questions, either on the phone line or on the live stream about the class or about anything coming up, let me know. We will be beginning a week from tonight. We did this one tonight at 5. They'll be an hour and a half, 5:30 to 7 Pacific Daylight Time. That's UTC -7. And replays will always be available. And you'll get that one-on-one. And you'll get all the Sound Alchemy support to go with it. So, relationship as a master guide for your life. I love you guys. Thank you so much to all of you for tuning in tonight, for being what you are, for allowing the light of your true presence to show itself to you and to all of us and to the world. That's where the peace is. That's where the power is. It's actually what you are. God, that's another piece we'll get into in the class. That power brokering that happens in relationship. When we hand our power away, you know, oh God, there's so many pieces. You know, if I need to keep you happy, I'm handing you my power. That's what I'm doing. Right there. Yeah. And then that's going to hurt. Eek. Yeah, so many good things we're going to unpack, all the pieces. And once you sign up, please feel free, if you want to email me and say, you know, what I'd really like to look at is this. Here's the hook. I feel like I already know what it is. Can we cover this in the class? It's probably on the list, but in that case, if it isn't, I'll be sure to give it some time. Oh, Tony, that's so sweet. Gratitude and love for all you are, love. I love you too. So much gratitude for what you are and for all that you be. Thanks, guys. Oh, and one final announcement is that you can still join us for the Bali trip. I think if you are one of those magical people that's going to slip in toward the end and really want to go on that trip, which is beyond amazing, June 3 to 15, shoot me an email, and that email would come. I'll put it here in the chat, support@christiel.net. And let me know, and we'll get you going. It's supposed to say support at. It didn't do that, so I put it in. Okay. Shoot me an email if you want to do that Bali trip. And also, I didn't get to play you any of my beautiful bowls tonight. Maybe I'll finish with that. A little bit of sound for you. That would be lovely as our send-off. These bowls are for sale. I mentioned this beautiful kunzite one at the beginning that's all about relationship with self, with others, and with the divine presence that we are. Oh, and it's a D, which is the sacral chakra note. Yeah. Let me play that for you a little bit and just send you off with some sound because I love you. All right, here we go. This is one of the good parts, right? Here we go. Turn this down a little bit for you. There. That's a great way to finish. I love your yes, please, Tony. That was awesome for me, too. Yeah. All right. Beloveds, thank you so much again for tuning in wherever, whenever you are. You are amazing. You are divine. You are this pure awareness, this pure, pristine presence of the One. And I am grateful to be it with you. I'll see you. Oh, and I will just, oh my God, I just keep thinking of things to say. I'm going to put this in so that if you'd like to just go register right now, you can. christyl.net/relationship. Did I get it? Almost. All right. And until the next time, we are always connected in this pure awareness that we be. I love talking to you in that space, and I love talking to you face to face. And I love the light and the love that we be. So thank you for everything you are. All right. Until the next time. Good night, everybody.